Jason is here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today we got Bespin Bulletin. Bespin Bulletin, is that you?
Yeah.
Bespin Bullshit, and that's a good one. Did you make that up, or did somebody else make that up for you?
No, I've made that up. That's you know.
Yeah, I like
I
when
gotta
I
give myself
when
a
I
pat in the back for that one, Jason. You know.
yeah I made up faking Star Wars, and then some losers went and actually made it, and were made it their personality. Nice. It's like a thing. I'm gonna. It's okay. I'm in a spicy mood today, Rob. You ready to go? Ready to do this?
I launched faking Star Wars on the first. That was my bad. Sorry about that.
Rob, if I sent you a video, could you play it through the show?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So So up front, like while you guys do that, I'm gonna throw this up because this is like the news du jour that's about to get taken out of context and shit like that. Is George Lucas on the Epstein thing? You know, and like what that means. I see a lot of stuff this morning on Instagram and shit like, oh no, George, say it ain't so, and stuff like that, you know. And this is the actual part of the transcript, or one of the pieces of it that has George in it. And it's just somebody, they're asking somebody about the people who they were, I guess, there to serve or service for money, and they're underage. They were underage at the time. And it just says George Lucas. The answer is no. Donald Trump? No. Did you ever massage Donald Trump? No. That's it right there. And so for the people that are trying to take it into, you know, Lucas is a pedo or whatever, there's no evidence for that there. The one thing that I would say about it, though, to contextualize this real, because that's what I like to do on the show, George Lucas was also in Heidi Fleiss's book.
Oh,
yeah. So we do have, so most likely what's going on there. This is just a guess. I don't really know. I didn't go through the document and read it, you know, all day. I looked up George's name and stuff after that hit. Basically, I think he was using those kinds of services for dates when he would go to premieres, and you know how you'll if you go back through old photos, you'll see like pretty models on his arm, and it's like George wasn't really dating them. I don't think. I think that's really what it amounts to. I mean, could be more.
Well, he
to
did
it,
stand up Carrie Fisher to go to the Playboy Mansion for to save movies.
Yeah. But my yeah, I mean, I'm of the perspective of if a grown adult wants to sell their body to another adult who wants to buy it, that's none of my business. That's just where I fall on it. You know what I mean? But when it's something worse, when it's like the Epstein Island thing, that's where this whole thing gets confusing, is because people rented and used those planes all the time. Being on the plane doesn't mean that they were doing the worst thing. Even Donald Trump. Honestly, in my opinion, I hate Donald Trump. I think he's a fucking monster. That said, I don't think he did anything according to those plane things. Like all of the stuff, it doesn't add up to it. And then it doesn't add up with that for George either.
No, I think the real story is that, and this is nothing new, because Trump was on air saying that Epstein liked girls on the younger side, is that he knew Epstein was screwing around with underage girls and never did or said a thing about it. So that's the one part of the story that I'm like, I mean, he clearly knew, and just not my problem.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck at all. I mean, but like, you know, when it comes to, like I said, there's sort of a guilt by association thing. There's this idea on the internet that because you can make an accusation, therefore the accusation has merit, or you know what I mean? And it's like, no, not necessarily. And I don't know. For all I know, George Lucas is a monster. But according to what we see here, there is nothing to corroborate that claim or that idea. And you know, just wanted to like contextualize it, what I think is actually going on. And most likely was just using the renting the plane, or using the plane, or was offered the plane and used it. But that's different than going to the pedo island. It's not the same thing, as far as I understand, anyways. But so that was the first thing. And then what else we got here? We got bestspinbulletin.com.
Take
Just
Sorry.
just go ahead and we'll just jump to that. Go ahead and play it.
Sorry. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Rob.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
I'll fucking tell you. Sorry, guys.
Which is funny
so
because this is
mad.
what they praised the Ms. Marvel show, is the mom being like, "I'm going to make everyone uncomfortable." Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Go make them uncomfortable.
No. But you have to contextualize. This isn't Ms. Marvel. This is about women having acid fucking thrown on their face.
There's also more of this clip.
Yeah, there is.
I think it's just
Plus, the convention's called Women in the World. I don't know what the big issue is with this. Like, whatever.
But she made a couple.
Not you, just not you. Not you.
Point taken. Point taken.
But it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, "I am here," and recognize that, I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection.
Okay, don't let it keep going too long. It's gonna get taken down.
That's
here's the thing.
It's pretty short.
Look,
Yeah.
as a white kid from Southern California, right? I had no idea what honor killings were growing up.
Yes.
No clue, none whatsoever, until my senior year in high school, when a girl I knew's mother was murdered in front of her and her sister's eyes. The day we were supposed to watch Psycho in our film class, which we still did. The teacher thought it would be. He's like, "We're not letting this stop," but he had to explain what an honor killing was. This is a guy who murdered their mother in front of them.
Okay.
And so it's like this sort of thing does exist, folks. Like,
Jedi Chris is saying, change your attitude. What is this, the 1950s? And it's like, you know what? It's like actually like the 1200s in some parts of the world where she's making these documentaries.
She didn't say this at Comic-Con. She's at a conference called Women in the World. She didn't go up on stage during the MCU and go, "I'm gonna fucking make men uncomfortable." This
isn't Ray coming out and telling Finn to sit down. I'm a girl boss. It's not that kind of uncomfortable, you fucking babies. It's the complete opposite. It's women getting burned up like that chick in Batman, but in real life, like with acid. And then the other is women who just want to be able to go to school. So if that offends you at your very core, you're a fucking pussy and you're a fucking baby and you need to grow the fuck up and you need to actually know what you're talking about, because she's not talking about your fucking laser sword comic books in this instance. And if that makes you mad about a movie that doesn't exist, you have a fucking problem. Yeah, and it's that you're a huge baby. It's ridiculous.
This needs to be like contextualized though, because like this is since she did the quote the other day, which she said that there needs to be more female voices in Star Wars. People then turn to this clip, right? And I've seen this plastered all over like TikTok and Twitter, wherever else. It's all out of context, YouTube, wherever. And they're using this, but this is an 8-year-old clip.
Yeah.
It's 8 years old. It's nothing to do with Star Wars, but people and some content creators are using it in the context that it's recent and that she said this about Star Wars. And
right.
So this clip itself like has 7,000 views on YouTube. The Women in the World upload.
We've seen this before too. This is the same thing that happened with Ryan. This is the same strategy that they're deploying.
Yeah. And the context in which they're presenting it in other videos have like over 90,000 views from a few days ago or a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So people are being fed this without any context, and they're just doing it off of the quote she gave CNN a couple of days ago of just that more women need to be in Star Wars.
Look, any one of these fans that wants to talk shit, they can fucking go to Fight Island in Abu Dhabi and bring their girlfriend and let the girlfriend just walk around with nothing on. You know what I mean? And see how it goes.
Is that how it goes there? I don't know what you're talking about right now, but I'm gonna say okay.
But again, this is just what like I said. When I'm not doing stuff on the Bespin side of things, I'm not using the Bespin accounts or whatever, I like try and stay removed from Star Wars. Not because I dislike Star Wars, I love Star Wars. I talk about Star Wars every day with you lot. But the fandom can be very toxic, so I try to stay away from it. But this is infiltrating like all the personal like stuff I'm trying to get away from on Star Wars, everything. It's everywhere, and it's just like it's bad. Again, they've tried
You
to.
should go make a Star Wars movie, Best, and see if you can get away from, like the
Yeah,
minute,
yeah,
the minute you're. Then this is the thing, man. Like, I understand the whole, hey, we would like to see a movie that has more than just telling us, how do I say this? Because there are moral. I think there should be a moral in a movie somewhere. Not telling you how to live the world, but that the characters in it have a certain code, good or bad, that they live to, and that they experience the consequences of those codes. So you can see.
And if you're going to go around talking about how mythic your shit is, then it needs to do that.
Yeah, well, what's myth? Myth are things that
Yeah.
exist in
Yes.
they're explaining truths in the world in fantastical ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like that's the whole point. And so do you want to have I have this has always been my problem. And to an extent I'm part of the problem where you have artists who literally illustrators who live in their rooms their whole life. They train and train and train to be able to make art. Let's say like Dave Filoni, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're influenced by things that like Miyazaki, you're influenced by different artists, different mediums. But
wait. Miyazaki, are you talking about the artist who sometimes will make you uncomfortable with his art because it's really fucking powerful and good?
Because Miyazaki actually lived through the Nagasaki Hiroshima bombings. You know what I mean? Like he actually lived through that as a kid. And so like what I'm saying is that artists, we superficially take the things that we love about Star Wars, and Lucas does a lot of that, right? But then you're like, hey, I want more meaning behind it. Well, that meaning comes from having lived in the world.
Right.
It's very difficult. It's not saying you can't. You can project, you can take, you can learn, and you can apply.
Not me.
But the ones that do the most are the ones that bring real truths from their life into their work. And that's the difference between Miyazaki and like the 1,000th episode of One Piece. All right. Like that's the difference between Boy and the Huron and the Demon Slayer movie. Demon Slayer movie's cool. It's fun. It's badass, but it's not bringing real truths, And so what we've all been clamoring for, I think, is for Star Wars to have real meaning and not to be an empty calorie film, right? That's what you're saying. But then when you get someone who could do that, you go, well, but not that one. Zack Snyder.
No, but I mean, when there is no artist who goes out to make art, and it's like, unless we're talking like fucking one of those really, really commercial lame artists like Kincaid, who's just going to paint little cottages. People want you to be moved when you see a movie. They want you to be uncomfortable. They want you to question reality, your ideas, your morals, where you're coming from, and your perspective. It's this basic fucking art shit. This isn't deep. This isn't that hard. But to go and then to turn it into this thing where it's like, oh my God, it's the Kathy Kennedy liberal agenda, and it's coming for our babies or whatever the hell that if they're gonna do. It's a ridiculous idea. And everything that she said, even if she said it last week, that's just basically how this works. People want you to be moved and uncomfortable and all kinds of things when you watch a film. I mean, why is this so difficult? Why is this turning, is it just because it's like, it's not canned? Is she saying that I just don't want to, just put up flashing lights on the screen? Because when that happens, you also get mad. So which is it? Do you want depth or do you want a very shallow pond?
Yeah, but then you have a lot of the fandom that believe that Star Wars isn't political. Even if you go back to the first movie, if you go back through the prequels, Star Wars is political. You can watch an interview with George when he talks about these things.
Yeah, and that's because they
push. My point too, Bespin, is if you go back to Lucas, right, pre-Star Wars, like right before he takes off. Okay, there was that one interview he did. It was like a documentary where they're just walking around the desert.
Oh, on the train tracks. They're like walking by train tracks, or am I misrememering that?
No, they're out walking the desert. They're out where they shot Boba Fett. Actually, like it's pretty funny when you look at it.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm more of a documentarian. I want to make more like educational films and like, so like, and if you look at the way he shot, American Graffiti, it's with Super 16. It's shot like a documentary. And had he been able to get away with that with Star Wars, he would have as well. except for the visual effects couldn't deal with that level of grain on film because of the superimposing. When you had to you have to put the film through the thing, you lose degradation. So you need a cleaner film for the compositing, the optical compositing they had to do back in the day. Yeah. But he shot the films like a documentary. Why would he say he wanted to shoot things like documentaries and wanted to make educational films if it weren't to put real world stuff onto film? That was the whole point. And then he gets caught up in, the toys in the 80s, and you guys, they forget all that, but that's what went in. I mean, there are real truths in THX 1138. It's hard to get to, right? Because it's got that sci-fi, avant-garde 60s bit on there. But
it does have a little bit of the Kanye, you are in your own prison, you're your own slave kind of mentality to it.
What are you doing?
But that said, he does. George does it better. Let's just put it that way. George does it better than Kanye.
You're not helping. Don't help.
Sorry.
You let Jason take the train 3 times in one game on Fortnite. He brings up Kanye every day.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's so, I don't know. It's disheartening. It's disheartening and it's dumb. The whole thing. Oh my God, a filmmaker or a musician. It's like all day. What do you think happens when you're watching music videos or you're looking at music? What do you think they're trying to do? They're trying to elicit emotion. But however, that's just in art. She is doing documentaries about very heavy subjects that most men in certain parts of the world don't want to hear. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see women with acid on their face. They don't want to confront how actually scary and ugly and I don't know, just frightening and terrible that it is. And so to go and then take that, as you were saying, Bespin, and then to apply that to a movie that hasn't even been made yet, and then to get your fucking your panties in a bunch over it is crazy. It's crazy. Well,
they're getting their Dave Filoni movie, and I wish them all the best. But I got to tell you, that's the one that I'm like, I don't. You want empty calories? Don't worry, it's coming. I'm sorry, it's just going to be sort of a. We've already seen what he can do with 8 hours of content. It's like it will be things where characters move around and they have some link to a cartoon that you saw 15 years ago with some lore that really matters to you.
Okay, you can't go. Wait.
Well, I haven't seen the movie too. I can judge it.
No, but you can't. You can't shit on that and then prop up the Avengers. You can't do that.
Yes, I can because I've seen that. I only shit on things.
And that's you just described the Avengers 100%.
Yeah.
But it's functionally the Dave Filoni movie is going to functionally do what the Avengers movies did.
We already got one half of the Avengers. We got Favreau. Now we just got Filoni. We're good to go,
guys. But what if the Rey movie comes out though, and then it's like Rey applies at the Republic for Jedi religion tax incentives and stuff, and they're like, no, you're a woman. that's her movie, and they're like, oh no, she really did that.
Secret Wars
really took it there.
What if Secret Wars has nothing to do with the comic book series and it's just a secret Star Wars movie is just in disguise and it's going to be the Avengers and Star Wars?
Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think, Bespin? What do you think?
We'll just nothing anymore. We'll just move on to something else. I'm fed up with the fandom, whatever.
All right. There we go. So you wrote this article and it's called Star Wars Outlaws confirmed to release in late 2024. However, by the time I read it, it was update. Disney parks have now removed the word late from the original blurb. So, but this is worth digging into and looking at a little bit. Disney have officially confirmed that the Star Wars game set to be released by Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws will be released in late 2024 following a delay. And you can follow Bespin on BespinBulletin.com. You could be a Patreon supporter or send him a coffee. And same thing with this. You can become a channel member on Making Star Wars or become a Patreon supporter. In October, Ubisoft delayed an unnamed large game to an unknown time in their next fiscal year, which begins on April 1st, 2024 until March 31st, 2025. Though Ubisoft themselves didn't explicitly state that this title was Star Wars Outlaws. Various outlets reported that it was. Outlaws was announced officially in summer of 2023 with a release planned during Ubisoft's fiscal year that would run until March 31st, 2024. Many optimistic fans had hoped that the delay would be slight, hoping that the title would release sometime in the spring, with some pointing towards May for obvious reasons. However, being the realist that I am and the destroyer of joy, that's you. I'm kidding. I always assumed the delay would see the Outlaws title shift into the fall of 2024, so that Ubisoft could capitalize on the holiday period, and the fall is typically when the big release occurs. Ubisoft themselves typically release entries into their Assassin's Creed franchise during this period. So you have a lot of forces between Star Wars and just them that are pointing towards that time. Delaying Outlaws to the fall would also give developers more time to perfect the game and would hopefully prevent the team from becoming overworked, something that's very prevalent in the video games industry. In April last year, Kotaku reported that sources close to the project felt that Ubisoft's ambitions of a release by March 31st, 2024 seemed unrealistic, and given the work needed, a release sometimes during the following fiscal year seemed more realistic. Less than a year from the Kotaku report, Outlaws has found itself slipping into Ubisoft's fiscal 24-25 calendar, and now thanks to Disney, we know roughly when to expect it. So before we go on, Bespin, do you think that the update was just somebody freaking out and being like, we don't want to commit to anything, and that's actually the plan? Or does the analysis still pertain in this article, in your opinion?
I mean, I've always thought it was a fall release when they delayed it. I explained it more in here, but there's usually when they release Star Wars games, it's around the time of a live action project.
Yeah.
And from what we know, the next couple of live action projects is one in the summer and one in the fall. So to me, it makes sense that it would be at either of those times. It's not unlike Ubisoft as well to not release multiple large titles in the fall. They have released what they consider tentpole releases within a month or a few weeks of each other. So just because they could have an Assassin's Creed game out in the fall of this year, which they apparently have, it doesn't stop them from releasing a Star Wars game maybe a month later. I think that it is later this year. I have no source on it or anything, but if I was taking a guess, it would be.
Right.
Like I said, people are hoping when they announced it. Well, they didn't even announce the delay. It was just reported through various outlets, and they shifted a game on their calendar, and every other game is coming out by March 31st. This one isn't.
Yeah.
So, why would they delay just by a month into May? We would have known that release date by now.
Yeah.
That's 4 months away.
So.
We would know that release date. So I think that we probably do go into the fall. I think the fall is probably the best for it. It's again Christmas sales, holiday sales. That's why they want to go on that date. And again, it's attached to a Star Wars project at the time, so it rides off that. I don't think it'll ride off massive momentum because it's Skeleton Crew, but
not for nothing though. They could also be trying to announce a Switch 2 port. At the same time, because the PS5 and Xbox Series X numbers aren't exactly as up as they want. So, they could be saying, hey, why don't we wait till that Switch 2 is announced? So you could say it's also coming to Switch 2, which helps.
If you want to look at the past as well, with the Avatar game, which came out last month, that was supposed to come out an entire year before it did. And they just said it slipped into the next fiscal year. They didn't say when, and people just thought it might just be a handful of months, but it turned out to be an entire year. So, because again, it was too ambitious to get out by that December. This is a similar thing is likely happening with this game.
And is this because Charmaine Obeyed Shinoa is making us uncomfortable?
Yes.
This was a female protagonist.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier in the article, months ahead of this tidbit, I believe the delay Outlaws suffered would see its release in the fall of 2024. My guess is that the title will land in the fourth quarter of the year, which you just kind of said, which covers the final 3 months of the year, October, November, and December. Most modern Star Wars video games have released around the time of a live action series or film release. Yeah, they like synergy. EA's Battlefront's release 1 month before the release of The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Jedi Fallen Order released a month ahead of The Rise of Skywalker. Squadrons released the same time as the month of Mandalorian Season 2, and Jedi Survivor released a month. The Mandalorian Season 3 concluded. So, and even before that, when we were having like Clone Wars releases and stuff on Blu-ray and stuff, it would also coincide. 2024 will see the release of 2 live-action Star Wars series, The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. For 4 months ago, I shared an exclusive report that detailed the release window for many upcoming live-action Star Wars series within the article. I shared that I was told that The Acolyte was to release first, with my speculation being a summer release, and that I had been informed by a source that Skeleton Crew had been delayed into November 2024. This information later backed up by Making Star Wars in November. So with that in mind, I expect to see Outlaws released around the time of the release of Skeleton Crew. So I'd be hedging my bets for a release around October or more so November this year. And then right here's where we get back to the part where we can let Bespin kind of share some more of his thoughts on this. In other Star Wars news, Sharmino Bay-Chinoy, Ms. Marvel, the director of the next Star Wars film, which will see Daisy release Skywalker Saga constructing a new Jedi Order, spoke with CNN briefly to share an update on her film. Obaid, got a bad typo here, said, I feel what we're about to create is something very special. We're in 2024 now, and it's about time that we had a woman come forward to share a story in a galaxy far, far away. I saw a bunch of outlets covering the story yesterday, but didn't think it deserved its own article. Breaking filmmaker thinks their film is good. okay, that's fair. As you can tell, it's a new year, but
that is exactly what they're saying, right? You know, like it's. I think Ewan McGregor said something similar when he was doing Obi-Wan. He's like, "Oh, I think it's gonna be a great series." It's like, well done, actor and producer of said show. Thinks said show is gonna be good. Like,
yeah.
If she came out and said, "Listen, I think it's dog shit," then that would be a headline, you know?
Listen, the Stephen Knight fellow, he's out here writing fucking Peaky Blinders, and we're just waiting on a script. And I hope that makes you uncomfortable. But yeah, do you want to share a little bit about that too? By the way, you were the one who gave me the heads up on the Stephen Knight tidbit.
Oh yeah, he did an interview. Well, it was conducted at the end of last year, but the piece has come out now, and he just said that he's basically spent more recent times working on the Peaky Blinders movie script.
Yeah,
and that he's putting together the final touches on it, and it's going to start shooting in the summer. He said the middle of the year, so we just assume June or July, which tells me that his priority has likely been that. It's worth mentioning that he's been writing that movie for now 3 years. So again, there's no wonder that it is a priority, considering he was supposed to shoot that last year.
Yeah.
You know, he was supposed to get that done last year. So yeah, I think he is working on the Star Wars thing, but it hasn't been top priority. It shouldn't be if he was supposed to be committed and finished Peaky Blinders last year rather than this. That does make sense.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know, but just based off of how it sounds, I don't think he turned in anything. I think all of the reports that he turned in stuff.
Well, it wasn't all the reports. It was one report.
Okay, one report that I've heard brought up way too many fucking times. Yes. And I don't think that it has any merit at this point. I mean, but the only two options that we have here is that the work he's going to do on the Star Wars movie may be more related to being the on-set writer, is something that we should, because like Christopher McQuarrie was brought on to Rogue One, not credited, but that was his main function from what I understand. He might have done a thing, but he was the on-set writer. I actually have the documentation to even prove that. That said,
why I love it so much.
Yeah. That said, he also, I mean, there's also a chance that he already turned it in, or it's not that much work to be done. Because that's the other thing to remember, is that Lindelof was, even if they don't go with Rey being, geriatric or whatever, they did work on that script or on that project for over 2 years before we even got to this point. So there is a chance that maybe it's not that much to be done, or does this end up making more way for some of the stuff that we were hearing about the Rey film not being next? I mean, does that open the door for this? Does that kick the door open more for that at this point, or no?
I think not. Like in that CNN thing, they mentioned like to Charmaine that's the next Star Wars film. She didn't correct them.
Yeah.
And then we have Daisy, was it last month, saying that she says it's the next movie, it's the next theatrical release, and we're gonna see Daisy do a lot of promotion this month. So we're probably gonna get Star Wars quotes from her because she's gonna promote. Sometimes I think about dying.
Right.
So
It'll be
again,
like,
she'll probably.
Hey Daisy, what you thought on the new Star Wars movie? And she's gonna say, I think the new Battlefront needs a live service. What we need is new Battlefront.
Wait, that's not Daisy. That's not true.
We need a new live service Battlefront game, right?
No, that's
like, everyone wants a Battlefront live service. They have to have it.
As it's true, we're on to you.
What?
We're on to you. That was as it's true. As it's true's in the chat, so that's why we're picking on him.
False.
Yeah, and then Shogun Orta gave a $5 super chat. Thank you, Shogun.
Oh, thanks, Shogun.
It says, wasn't David Fincher a music video director first? He turned out pretty good. Yeah, he probably turned out to be an actual better filmmaker than most by far. And and people come into film from different angles. Like Rob was mentioning, the documentarian thing was something that George Lucas was probably more interested and probably more suited to make documentaries, and then started telling stories. And that's how I think we get to Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy, is that when you watch her documentaries, number one, they're very heavy, very important stuff. She handles it, puts it into a succinct narrative that is very black and white, easy to understand. And then on top of that, the shots in the documentaries are probably better than anything that you are going to watch in a documentary overall. Like, we're talking like exposition, establishing shots, even things down to when people are talking in the moment. She'll go and she'll put a camera up on top of the room looking down, just angles that you would never think to get in a documentary because you don't need to, but she would do it. So that's where I'm hopeful, that it's going to be an interesting alchemy that makes that movie that she makes into something interesting. But yeah, people, what they did last and what they've done before oftentimes has nothing to do with what they're going to do when they come to Star Wars, is the thing that we always say. I mean, there's been a lot of people who've fallen on their face trying to make Star Wars stuff, and there's some people who never did anything interesting at all, for the most part, and made fine Star Wars movies. Some of your favorite ones, Richard Marquand, I'm looking at you. Anyways, though, you wish everybody
not a favorite movie.
Yeah. So I mean,
Battlefront's my favorite movie.
Battlefront's not a movie, as it's true.
The trailer is a movie to him, though.
He watches it over and over again, on repeat, slows it down and stuff.
No, I just think this whole thing with, like I said, I brought this to you earlier about like how fucking bad it is out there at the moment with this thing. But again, it's all just perpetuated on a lie and just like miscontextualized it. The first like TikTok I saw of it was her speaking, but it made it look like it was at Star Wars Celebration, and like it had this over it, and it was like I had break-in. She says this to CNN, and then it was that, that quote from the Women in the World clip. And then, like I said, like there's all these content creators at the moment that are pushing that. Like I said, the people aren't going out and seeking the context of that clip. That clip has 7,000 views. You're looking at videos covering it with over 90,000 within a couple of days.
Right.
And it's an 8-year-old clip. Like, again, people also...
This clip may be older than a third of the audience reposting this clip.
Probably.
Date.
Might be older than George Lucas's date that he got from Epstein.
Like,
oh no, Jason.
What? Oh, sorry. Go on.
I speak with Jason like every single day at this point, and like
I'm sorry, man.
You
deserve so much. You deserve better.
So we talk about Star Wars a lot, right? Like every single day we're talking about Star Wars for hours, pretty much. Other than yesterday.
About Star Wars.
Other than yesterday, we talked about Beetlejuice 2 for hours.
And we talked about Beetlejuice for a long time yesterday. It had to be said. It all had to be said.
And but that's the thing. So like I always tell Jason, like I always try and stay removed from it when I can, because a lot of it is
nice.
It affects you negatively, like mentally a lot. So I said to him, so when I'm seeing this, like, and I'm not using the Star Wars accounts, then I'm like, okay, this is getting too big. I don't like it. And then As I said, it's just I hate it. Like, there's always an agenda against this Rey movie, and again, it might be because people don't like sequels, and that's fine. You can dislike any movie. Film is subjective. Like,
Yeah.
but they might just
Well,
have
she was
a
supposed
hate.
to be Nemodian,
Mhm.
Bespin. You know, her
Yep.
name Newcon Ray. Like that's
Nice.
her full
Yeah.
name.
Gun Ray. Oh wow.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
It all
yeah.
but it
rhymes.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing. Then we're at a point where
That's all I
like
got.
they're all skipping over that Stephen Knight is writing this. It's an old white man that's writing this movie.
Oh,
Like,
oh, hey.
you know, it's being led by a woman and it's being directed by a woman, but everybody always wants to skip over that part. You know, it's just an agenda against this movie already. Like, but again,
Let me ask you
it
this,
was
dude.
from the start. But you know,
Yeah. Do you think though, if they go and we have Obey Chinoy making the Star Wars movie, if she goes and she makes her Star Wars movie, and there's absolutely nothing that is pertinent to the feminine experience, does it matter that they got a female director at that point?
Well, then they'll say it was performative. So you're kind of fucked either way.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, let me switch out of George here for a second. But yeah, no, but that is the problem, Jason, right? Because then they'll go, well, look, they got a woman with documentary and all of that, and then they didn't do anything. I don't know what people want. I feel very bad when I feel bad for creators that get an opportunity and then are expected to. I mean, go watch American Fiction if you want to see a
great movie.
black writer struggling with this concept in the real world. You know, like that movie's based on a book that mirrored his life. You know, in some weird, coincidental way.
That's what the guy from Westworld, is that the one with the dude from Westworld? Yeah. I saw the trailer for that. It looked good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. When you look at, during the Mandalorian season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett, a lot of Star Wars fans were pushing that they would like to see Bryce Dallas Howard tackle a movie.
Oh Jesus!
No, but they were that, and all they had at that point.
But she never directed a film before, Bespin.
Exactly.
How is that possible?
Right, but she's just done Mandalorian episodes where Din's the lead, and they've enjoyed the episodes, and they were pushing for her to be a film director.
She didn't screw up an episode of a series that may or may not have been all her, right? We don't know.
Right. Well, you've got Jon Favreau's there, showrunner. You've got the onset writer. You've probably got she's not
hand her a trilogy.
Yeah, but and again, the thing with Obey Chinoy is that she has been more political in her work, and again, it's just this narrative that people have of Star Wars shouldn't be political, even though it always has been.
Star Wars should be political. No, it's just about killing kids for sport.
It's
right? Hey, I mean, how are you supposed to?
So
it's got nothing to do with politics.
So when you bring in a filmmaker like Chinoy, and then you have Rey, who a lot of members of the fandom don't like in general, and that might be because they don't like the movies, don't think the movie's very good, or might just be for other reasons. Then you mix that up and you have this pot of propaganda, essentially, and things you can already use to tear the movie down, even though we know nothing about it. We've seen nothing at all. Again, Stephen Knight, an older white dude, is writing the movie. It's not being written by...
And it was started by a white bald.
But yeah, it was started by Lindelof, and
a white bald like me.
Yeah,
we know we could speak silently to one another, so we know good things are happening. But it's like Lobot. It's like Lobot goes boop boop. Sorry, go on.
It's just again, and they were fine with Ahsoka because even though that's a female led show, it was Dave, So again, it's just the thing of the opinions of Rey and bringing in a more of a political filmmaker. Even though Ms. Marvel, is pretty light in the episodes that she did. And again, Charmin isn't the writer of any of this. She's just the director. And again, she'll have an input into the script, but if Lucasfilm as a whole don't like the script, they'll can you. Look at Lindelof, he's gone. And that's why Knight's come in. Dave has a larger hand in the development of these projects now.
Not a bald. We don't trust him.
No, but also a white dude.
Right.
It's so that's the thing. Everybody wants to get not everybody.
Well,
but
Jason, you can't see all of me right now, but some of us is bald in some spots. You know what I'm saying, Jason?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? You call me Slick Rick. Okay.
Oh.
It's too much.
Hold on, I need to freeze frame that face, Jason. We're using that. Thank you for that. I like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What
I
are we
mean,
supposed to do here?
obviously,
Defend or critique a movie we know nothing about from a director we really don't. Most people have never even seen her documentary, but they want to comment on. I mean, this is where we're at. You know, this is where we're at. We got nothing. Nothing about
well,
nothing means nothing from nothing means nothing, right?
well, I mean, obviously, she's the director, so she's going to interpret this script, whatever, whoever finishes it, however it's finished, she will be the last sort of line of the interpretation before the actors do what they do and stuff like that, right?
What was the report when Lindelof was there that he wanted a director in early so they can have an influence on the script and make decisions together?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then there's also the conflicting reports about it that Charmin comes in and he's like, "What is going on? I didn't pick her," which I don't think makes that much sense.
Same source,
but
though. Same
source. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is what it is. You know, might probably different sources of varying quality on that. So I think that might be the difference. But we end up with she's the director of this, and she's not the writer. She's not the auteur. This isn't an auteur film, and they're pretending like it is because they are taking the Rian Johnson playbook, where Ryan said, "Oh yeah, I want to be subversive. I want to make people uncomfortable. Like I want to make shit that's edgy, bro. Like that kind of stuff." And then they're like, "Oh, you did this to Luke Skywalker." Like they're like, "There we go. We got the smoking gun." But that's what happens when your high school teachers teach you how to pull quotes. And they're just so happy your dumbass can find a quote in a book and copy it down correctly that they pass you. But also when they never got to the point of teaching you that actually the quality of the quotes matters, that the source matters, the context matters, and honesty matters. And they don't do that because that doesn't pay you. And also, like I said, because it's rather very nefarious or very ignorant. It's one or the other when that methodology happens. But they did it with Ryan. It was successful. It made them some cash. And now they're just doing the same thing again because it's there and they can do it. And whenever you go back into anybody's past and read any of their old interviews, they're going to say that they want to be subversive and they want to be challenging and that they want to challenge the status quo. And then politically speaking, the fact that that audience is so fucking obsessed with hold on, I'm saying something, but with finding the politics and stuff, anything that happens is inherently political to you. Therefore, just some fucking lady showing up on screen is now a political statement to you when it's absolutely not, but it's seen that way. So go on, Rob.
Yeah, but people getting mad at a woman or anybody saying that they want to change the status quo are also in the same breath saying that if they were in charge of the Lucasfilm, they would change the status quo. Like their whole game was predicated on if they were in charge, they would change the so-called status quo.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's the hypocrisy of this game, this little grip.
It's your politics, no one else's politics that they want shown, essentially. But the thing about it with Disney and politics is it's the most candy ass politics that there can be. There is nothing revolutionary or radical really coming out of Disney for the most part.
Politically, never has.
It's all fucking. It's about as deep as a Dove ad with showing women with different bodies.
No, you know what I mean? You know what it is?
It's
that white chocolate Nestle's commercial from the 80s, right? You remember that one?
Oh, I do remember that one. That looked good.
It had this song. And I gotta look up 80s white chocolate Nestle's commercial. And that's the deepness coming from Disney at all times.
Yeah,
like always has. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, and but you know. I mean, you could go back and look at like the 1960s and certain slogans that have some truth to them. And that's that like the personal's political. So if you're going to tell a personal story in any way, it is going to inherently be political to somebody in some angle in some way, because that's just the world.
But again, George Lucas, you can find many quotes from him, videos from him, interviews talking about how politics and his view on politics has influenced Star Wars. Just even look at the prequels. These are usually the ones people cite as, you know, being their favorite movies, and there's no politics in it. Look at the names of some of the characters.
No,
You know what I mean?
Pestman. Just put
Like-
on the goddamn audio commentary where Lucas on the Attack of the Clones commentary says this is about Vietnam. Like straight up, even use some of the shots from Vietnam, where they were the helicopter shots, or whenever the steady cam zooms.
When Anakin quotes George Bush like a year out from when he said, "You're either with me, you know, or against me," stuff like it's not
a year out.
But also once again, it's I can't help these people become observant of things that they refuse to see. You know what I mean? Hey, it's my little dude. What's up, Luke? Yeah, so
He's in VR right now.
He probably is in VR right now. Honestly, he watches things in YouTube. He watches YouTube in VR. One night he was on his VR headset and he fell asleep watching YouTube with his friends in VR.
Wasn't that our dream when we were a kid, Jason?
Oh, he's living it. He's living the dream. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's like obviously I don't want this isn't a drama channel. I don't want to turn it into that Star Wars. You know what I mean? I know. No, if it was, I would actually be pulling up like quotes from civilians. You know what I mean? And that kind of shit.
Not a drama channel. Yeah. Meanwhile, Azatru is like, the problem with Battlefront is that we need a live service Battlefront game. And we don't have a live service Battlefront game, and we have to have a live service Battlefront.
You need to leave him alone. You need to leave him alone.
But
leave him.
I ran him off.
Leave Azatru alone.
Look, you're just saying that because he ups our kill count on Fortnite by a factor of 3. Like
it is true. He does it while carrying me on his back sometimes. But
true.
I mean, yeah. So, anyways, though, these people are going to grift. They're like gonna do it. I don't want to acknowledge it too much, but when you do see it, like literally being the, I don't know, the news du jour, you do have to kind of, you know, go like, no, we need to contextualize this and look at this and ground this and make this realistic. Because
but
I mean, here
does the work of that though. Like that's the thing. The people who want to push this narrative, they don't do the work, or they have done the work and refuse to include certain tidbits like that as an 8-year-old quote. You know?
Yeah.
And they just want to push that she's saying this and this is how she's going to conduct like the construction of her Star Wars movie, you know, whatever. There's no.
I can see that scene from Jedi, you know, where they is the construction of your Star Wars movie? It's falling behind, sir.
There's nothing from her talking about this movie. There's nothing from Daisy talking about this movie and how like politics at the forefront, or how like, you know, it's all she said was that, you know, it's time for it's 2024. It's time that a woman did make a Star Wars movie. We've had women direct episodes of Star Wars TV, but never a movie. They've tried to do it with Patty, you know. So, what's wrong with it? Like, I have no problem if I'd have no problem with whoever's directing the Star Wars movie as long as they're talented, you know.
Ben was talking about like kind of the PR failure of the. Sorry, Ben, I'm not going to go up and find it because I'm lazy. But Ben was basically saying that, and the thing about what she's saying to like CNN, I do think that is the canned response that they've decided to give. It's because we haven't had a woman direct a Star Wars movie before. So that alone is just a freebie on the PR landscape. It is. And she can't talk about what the movie's about, really. She can't say anything else. She can't. So really, like, what's her angle, and what can you say? And you could probably say it's an honor to be the first woman to direct a Star Wars film, and that's gonna go to her. And like, you know, at the end of the day, it means probably about as much as when you see everybody dancing on set, and you're like, oh, they're all a family.
These guys were against cancel culture, though, Jason.
You know?
But we want to cancel a woman for something she said 8 years ago.
The people who cry about cancel culture are the people who tried to cancel me just as hard as the cancel culture people. 100%. Like, that was my experience, and probably still is. They're fucking hypocrites just across the board. You know, I mean, just as what it is. It's because on the internet, a hot take and an angle. Oh, that's all I need to go and participate, because they don't know how to participate.
Maybe she should change her job profession to stand-up comedian. Just put that in so they shut up, right? So then you can say whatever you want. right?
Yeah,
No
no, but I mean, realistically, like we were talking the other day, Vespin, and I was like, when it comes, like philosophically, when it comes to like argument, the internet lacks the ability to have a dialectical conversation, and that is or argument, and that is essentially where we concede truths, and then we kind of remove everything off the board until all we have is what is true, and then that is the truth. That is what there is. Now, people don't always agree on that necessarily, but there are certain things that we know objectively are true. And we just can't really get that with the soundbite culture that we have on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. It's just all like, right now.
Wait till they find out Barbie was directed by a woman too.
Wait till they find out. No, I mean, but it's like, but we're literally seeing this happen against George Lucas right now in the same exact way, where it's like, oh, he's basically, according to people who just read the headlines, George Lucas is at Epstein Island, partying it up with children, and it's like, no, he's on a plane.
With Stephen Hawking,
Yeah. And once again, if more comes out about George and it's bad, I'll be real about it. I'm not going to go, well, he's my hero, therefore it's okay. No, fuck that. But right now, with the evidence that we have in the context and putting it as clearly as we can, that's what it is. But once again, on the internet, it's it's not news that clickbait sells, but at the same time, you can be ethical in your clickbait, can't you?
But again,
you can.
It's just looking at what's there. The original clip has 7,000 views, and then the highest has like over 90,000. Trying to perpetuate and misinterpret what she was saying and the context of it all. That's just the internet. That's what it is. This is why, like, I always try and remove myself, like, when I don't need to be in it. If I'm not doing like quote work, the only conversations I have about stuff is with people like you guys and Azatru, just friends, because we can all have an actual conversation. If there's something going on, like this, getting headlines, we'll have a conversation about it, which will last hours or whatever. We'll dive into every detail of it.
Yeah, Jason will tell me how the 80s are dead while Barbie's the highest grossing film of the year. But
that is not the reason that
Rob, roll it back. Just because you discovered Barbie in the 80s does not. Barbie's not from the 80s.
Barbie that's selling. It's the
no, it's not.
That does
no,
not
it's
exist
no.
before
You're
Tom
wrong.
Kalinske and them
You're
take
wrong.
over Barbie. No, it is not wrong. They reinvigorated Barbie.
Rob, you haven't even seen the fucking movie.
No, but I know the history of the toys way better than you.
You are so wrong right now. It's not even.
I'm not wrong.
You are wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Yes, you are.
No,
you are wrong.
You talked me into it.
I mean, I could just go and say, "Oh, Star Wars is the '90s" if I want to, but that's Star Wars the '90s. Is it the '70s? Is it the '80s?
It's a movie
2000s,
predicated off the
2010s?
prequels. Then yeah, it is the '90s version of Star Wars we're talking about. Yes.
No.
That's Kenobi's '90s version of Star Wars.
No, the '80s is dead. The '80s are dead. '80s doesn't just sell because it's '80s anymore. '80s has been mined so much that we cannot tell the difference between what is uniquely '80s and what is now. The kids who are watching Stranger Things don't even fucking get it's based off of '80s VHS films and stuff like that. They have no fucking idea. And when you know what I mean?
They say it's 1984 or 1986.
I played the weekend.
They like the aesthetic and the the vibes of Stranger Things rather than what influenced it.
Today, I was listening to After Hours in the car, and my kid thought that this was an '80s song. Thinks Blinding Lights is an '80s song. That's where we are culturally. That's where.
And he likes it, right?
Washed out.
So
she does. But yeah, come on, man. Herstory. We're talking about it today. It's Obey today. No, but all of that. No, I mean, but with all of that, like that whole angle on that stuff, Batman didn't sell. Ghostbusters isn't selling. Beetlejuice probably isn't going to do that well. I hope it does.
Barbie
probably
did.
Not. Because
so what's the difference? Because it's not a vapid film. That's why.
No.
Yeah, but the big push for Barbie was the Barbenheimer stuff. Like they both profited massively off it.
Barbie
and Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. It's the
Nuclear
80s.
bombs were big in the 80s.
I heard about him.
Right?
Yeah, there we go.
What? They were. You can't say they were.
Oh no, they definitely were. Really? But
what?
no, I mean, I wish that was the case, but in a year where Indiana Jones and Michael Keaton's Batman couldn't pay the rent,
People
gotta-
associate Indiana
and-
Jones with the Crystal Skull now. So really,
no, actually, they love Crystal Skull now. Keep up, they actually do. I'm not fucking around. That's the internet now. That's the world we live in, Rob.
But again,
Um,
there's
People-
nothing we saw in
contrarianism needs to be stopped. Sorry,
in
Yeah.
2023 as well. We also saw the long-running franchises. This in general, not even 80s based ones, or ones where they started to dwindle at the box office.
Mhm.
Look at Fast and Furious. Look at Mission Impossible. Like you can put them in there. You know,
Yeah.
they, especially domestically, like people stopped caring. Like again, domestically for you guys, not for me, obviously.
Well, also like I think when it comes to that 80s audience post COVID, the 40-year-olds stop going to the movies.
No,
They
that
just-
is the thing. Yeah.
That's just they just stop. So I think that your overlap where you kind of had like I wouldn't say there was like a 5-quadrant model for the 80s, but that part where the old timers come, the people who just like that stuff come, and that they're taken out of the
It's
equation.
not
now.
2019, where everybody went and saw everything.
Yeah, it has stopped. This year is going to be a terrible year for movies. I think we agree.
we get to save a few bucks though, Jason.
Well,
because
do we agree?
2025 is going to eat into our wallets a bit. I think.
Yeah, like I said to you, I have friends who work at cinemas and they're like higher up at where they are. And they've had meetings about the year. And
Yeah.
there's
So they're in
things
for
that aren't
trouble.
great.
Yeah.
All right, I want to really quickly let's just talk about that thing because we're on it.
That was the
it's
thing you did
it's-
yesterday.
Yeah, that graphic you sent. So like at the start of the year, we got Night Swim, which honestly I could be convinced to see, but I probably won't. But if my kids I want to see a scary movie, let's go. I could see kind of giving in and seeing it.
We got Mean Girls as well this month. I don't think it's on there, but Mean
it's
Girls.
not on there. Yeah, Mean Girls. Madame Web on Valentine's Day
Why is
And-
everyone calling that Madame Web now?
because
Like,
I'm fancy.
That's the 5th time I've heard Madame Web. Like that's going.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That may inadvertently give it some. point,
Shut up, nerd.
know?
No, I'm kidding. I honestly don't know what the
I'm not
fuck it
gonna
is.
Shut up.
Because I've never heard of it. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Honestly, I never heard of this character. I don't know anything about her. I know
It's a
she's
far
hot.
cry from what the character is supposed to be.
Yeah. Let's put it that
Avi
way.
wanted it to be their version of Doctor Strange, essentially.
Okay.
Like that version of the character.
Yeah, Madam Web. That one comes out on Valentine's Day. The trades call Dakota. What's her name? I almost want to say what? Don Johnson. Dakota Don Johnson. Yeah, they say she's to Valentine's Day what Will Smith used to be to 4th of July. I don't know if I buy it, but I think we'll see pretty soon. And then you got Dune Part 2.
Mhm.
You're gonna see that one, right, Bestman? You're definitely in on that.
Day one.
Day one. And then I am seeing Kung Fu Panda Part 4 with Luke. He did say we are seeing that one. And but however, we're seeing Ghostbusters first. It comes out on the same day as
isn't it?
Ghostbusters. Yeah, it's both March 29th. That's Ghostbusters.
How much more money do you think Kung Fu Panda's going to make over Ghostbusters? Like 3 times the amount, I assume?
You think so? I don't know. I don't know where Kung Fu Panda falls. I go to
There's a lot
Universal
of hype around
Studios.
Kung Fu Panda for.
No, I go to Universal Studios and we go to those that stuff, like the Kung Fu Panda stuff, and people are into it. And I'm like, oh wow, okay. I had no idea this was still a thing. You know what I mean? I thought the audience would have aged out, and apparently they did not.
No, it's still a thing. It's even attached to meme culture now, which might be a factor when you look at Gentle Minions and whatever else.
Yeah, and if Ghostbusters is really good, then if it's phenomenally good, then we'll have to see what happens. But I'm just expecting it to be serviceable. You know what I mean? That's where I think it's gonna fall, just based off the teaser.
Solid 7 out of 10 movie.
Yeah. My daughter says that the first Ghostbusters Afterlife movie, the first of the new ones, is her favorite movie of all time. So
She likes it more than the Founder now.
Yeah, she does like it more than the Founder. I think the Founder is more of a comfort film for her.
A movie with Michael Keaton about McDonald's.
That's my daughter, man.
Yeah.
She loves the Founder. She loves it. She loves
She likes
the
the
movie.
McDonald's movie.
And one day, a weird coincidence. Max, who does the show with us sometimes, our Max, she texts me and she's like, "Oh, I love The Founder. Like, I'm watching The Founder right now. I love this movie." And I'm just
She
like,
longs for an age where the milkshake machines actually worked at McDonald's.
you know what? I think they just like if you look at Ghostbusters and you look at that, it's about American ingenuity and really just making something where you can make a lot of money off it and run it into the ground, like any of these
You know,
film
the
franchises.
term crock as shit came from somewhere, Jason. I'm just saying.
What is If?
It's the Ryan Reynolds movie with the imaginary friends.
Oh, right. Yeah, that looks like it could.
What if?
But
What is if?
what if? Oh, Godzilla and Kong. What if? Or not what if? If. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which I will probably need to see that one for sure.
I'll be going to the theaters for that one.
And I'll see Planet of the Apes. I'll Barbenheimer that shit. Furiosa and Planet of the Apes.
You're not gonna do the threesome, which is Furiosa, Garfield, and Planet of the Apes.
No, definitely not.
All the same
Garfield.
day. Yeah.
The girl I go out with, she sent me this documentary on Garfield fandom, and it was 2 hours long on YouTube, and I watched it.
By Super iPad.
Did you tell her you lived through the 80s? You already know how.
No, it's fucking this Garfield documentary I watched about like the fandom. It's fucking nuts.
Is it by Super iPad Wolf? Because I think I might have seen it.
What's it called?
Is it by a YouTuber called Super iPad Wolf?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Remember I was telling you like stuff about like The Simpsons? It was him.
Oh, okay.
And he also did a Sonic one, which is grim.
But give Jim Davis credit, even though he doesn't really draw the strips, he does like loose breakdowns. He does hire people. Not. I mean, they literally have a studio where the dudes hand ink it and hand letter those strips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still hand lettered, you know. And I gotta give major props to that still happening. I think that might be one of the only things, comics, anything being hand lettered these days. You know,
the guy in the video, Rob, he goes through on a quest to try to read every Garfield comic strip ever to find out if any of them were ever funny, and he does like a math breakdown of how many were actually funny. It's like a 0.3% or something.
Yeah, but you know the cool thing about Garfield is Garfield inadvertently taught me about shape design, because like the thing about the Garfield strip was everything he put in there had a design sense to it. The lamps, the telephones, the chicken's foot soup, the bowls, the spoons had a very deliberately designed, rounded, look to it that, I gotta tell you, it had a big influence on me. Like just that part of it, and that's why they make such great toys, because it was very well. However he got there, however assistants, blah 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 blah, they found a shape design that is uniquely Garfield. Like no
I
other
like
strip
Furiosa's weird ass looking face. I find her very beautiful, but she's a weird looking person. But that
you said that, Jason. I didn't say that. So
well, no, she's hot, but she has like these like weird like fish eyes or something going on. I don't know what it is. Dad, do you want to play some Fortnite after this? Yeah, sure, son. All right. Okay. So
they won't talk to me, so I have to send him super chats.
And then we got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I'm excited for that. I think that could be a really good.
300 years after the previous trilogy.
After Caesar, it's what Caesar laid down.
Is Plagueis still alive then?
No, definitely not. But he might be coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, put that on Twitter. Ballerina, a John Wick spinoff film. Is that what it's called? Ballerina? Yeah.
It's called Ballerina.
Yeah. So I don't know. You think that one's gonna perform? You think anybody will? You think the overflow of a percentage of that John Wick will translate, or do you think it's just gonna have to stand on its own?
I think some will. I think some will. Keanu's in it. 400
million on the last one. Is that what you said?
430 or something. Yeah. Okay. Keanu's in this Ballerina movie as well.
So. Okay.
I think the thing to look at is marketing, because as fun as movies like Atomic Blonde are, it's a fun action movie.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't exactly been runaway financial successes at the box office, like 150, 180 million kind of thing. Now, if they only spent 20 million on Ballerina and it does 186 million at the box office before it goes to streaming and streaming sales, then they've made their money back. But $400 million film, probably not.
No, it like made $400 million. Not that it cost that.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I
Okay.
meant. Like, is it going to generate 400 million at the box office? Probably not. It's probably going to be considered a success at the 200 million mark by their numbers. You know.
Mm-hmm.
The
'Cause,
next
you know,
two are not pornos. That's Bad Boys 4 and Inside Out 2. They could be pornos, but they're not.
hey, do
That's
you think we're going to get a reissue of the Michael Lowry
no,
skin for Fortnite?
maybe.
Huh? To promote Bad Boys 4?
So a Quiet Place Day 1 and Despicable Me 4. Those are two more. Okay, and then this one, I don't know if you guys want to see this one. I don't. I think this is terrible. Twisters. Not one Twister, not one Helen Hunt, but two Helen Hunts. Twisters.
I, I wish it were two Helen Hunts, but no, there's none of the original people in that film from the original cast.
Yeah.
I still think the original Twister score by Mark Mancina and Van Halen is phenomenal.
There's a
think,
weird quote
Mhm.
about Twisters the other day. The lead of it, Glenn Powell, he said that it's not a sequel, but it's also not a reboot.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what it is.
This takes
just
place
in
in
the
an
Twister-
Earth where Twisters happen every year.
You guys are referring to the Twisterverse, I believe. And then Deadpool. And then Deadpool is that's the one that we would probably bet on being one of the biggest movies of the year. Do you think July 26th is too late for that one? Do you think that one should have been on July 4th?
Nope. 4th of July weekend, people, I'm going to tell you right now, man, like, it didn't do Indiana Jones any favors.
That's because it's the 80s, though.
Huh?
Yeah.
Was it 4th of July? Was the 80s?
Huh. No, that's like 1776, I think.
For like Europe, like that's when like kids in the UK break up for summer break is like around the end of July. So
yeah, these movies launch in the OOKs first, right?
Sometimes it's like a day or two early. Yeah.
We call that Region 1. Am I right? That Region 1? It's Region 1, right? Yeah.
France usually get a day for us, so.
Frenchies, huh? Borderlands. It was a video game. Now you can just watch somebody else play it.
That's that Eli Roth movie that someone else had to finish because he just left.
Oh, he just quit on it?
Well, you know, scheduling. I got other things. I got to go make that Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
show.
he didn't take part in the reshoots, apparently. Like,
okay.
part is very bad. So.
Yeah, Eli Roth is very mixed for me. You kind of enjoy him, but he's kind of all over the place.
Anytime Kevin Hart's in a movie, you know it's not going to be a very good movie.
Okay.
Like,
that's fair.
It's fair, right? Like, he's never in good films.
Yeah.
What if he's cast as Kang?
Then I would go and see that. I think that'd be funny as fuck. Like, I'm down.
See? I knew it.
Bespin and I looked into Alien Romulus to look at like the talent behind it, and I could say I have very little confidence in that one, not just being Alien versus Predator without the Predator. Basically, that's what it's probably.
Is that teaser trailer for that real or was that generated?
It's not real.
Not real because it didn't look real to me.
No.
Yeah, it was it's like a hodgepodge. What's it called? Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
The logo's very
bad.
Why
is Sony operating their Spider-Man movies like they're gonna lose the license if they don't keep something in production like Fox had to back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Like remember, like Fox had a thing where if they didn't have something,
still the thing. They still need to make a movie every 7 years.
So they have to keep something in active production. That's why they're. But then why do two of them in a year?
They were supposed to be like different, right? Craven was supposed to be last year.
And now it's
but they're still releasing it within 12 fiscal. I mean, even if that.
It's because Abby wants to make a Sinister Six movie with these characters that he's having all these movies for.
I really hope he gets his dream, so we could just I can watch his fail before he passes on. You know, like I just want to see Avi's dreams crush and crumble around him.
Craven closes out the summer when you get down to this list that we have anyways right here. And like when you look at it, like for me, Deadpool's probably the only movie I know I'm going to see this summer. in the
Oh,
summertime.
Furiosa.
Despicable
definitely.
Me, well, because your kids will
Furiosa's
go.
okay. Furiosa's in May, so if we want to count May as the summer, we
That counts.
can't. Okay,
Star
well,
Wars is counted as a summer blockbuster, and it came out in May. So yes, we
it
did.
was revolutionary for releasing in the spring on May 25th.
It's counted as a summer blockbuster, Jason. All right.
If you want to count it, we can count it. I have no problem with that.
You cannot change. You can't go change it. That's all I got. That's all I got left in this world is.
You know, I mean, June, July, and August is kind of summer usually, but
August is generally considered.
But we live in a world
not
of
really
fiscal
much.
years that I don't understand because it's all confusing and me brain dumb. Okay, so then once we get out of actually into fall, Beetlejuice 2 comes September 6th. And
I'm interested.
well, when I see September 6th, it makes me think they don't have a lot of confidence in it. But then I wonder, is September 6th thinking that it's gonna run into the Halloween season? That's really early though.
Warner Brothers did this last year with The Nun 2. It came out really early September, and by the time you got to October 31st, it was basically not in theaters anymore.
It was gone.
It was down to like 1 or 2 showings a day, if that.
Yeah.
I'm not a musical guy, but I really did want to see that Beetlejuice musical before COVID hit. You know, I was actually in New York. I'm like, hey, we go see it. I was like, yeah, it's like $150 a ticket. I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like,
I feel like I skipped the Joker film, or does it not come up yet? Yeah, no. Oh, Joker's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah, that which is also a musical. That's why I was thinking about it. But then before that, we got Transformers 1. That's the animated one. I'm interested in that one for sure too. And then we got Joker in October.
Dude. Every time you say that, Azure jumps from his seat and does loops around the desk, right? Just the goal.
Rob, as our anti-French expert, how's the Joker titles pronounced for the film?
Anti-French? I like the French. What are you talking about? They're the best artists.
Well, you wouldn't let me call her Madame Web. You got really mad at it, and you were like, "She's Madame Web."
Oh, American bougie ain't the same as French. That's
okay, well, what the fuck is this Joker movie called in America?
Huh? It's called Cash Grab. Joker 2 tax.
Folie à deux. Yeah.
Look, when you
That's
say
what it's called, Rob.
That's
what it's called.
A deuce.
Dukes.
I didn't really much like the first Joker movie. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a Batman origin story. We get the pearls dropping at the end, and his parents die in an alley. And I just was like, "Fucking movie, man!" Like, you just can't help themselves, Warner Brothers. Will we see Bruce Wayne's parents murdered again in a flashback in this film? What do you think, Jason? I'm saying we will. I'm saying we're going to see those pearls drop again, right?
Every one of these things has to have the Waynes dying, or it doesn't make any sense why he dresses up as a bat. Because for some reason, it makes sense that when your parents die, you dress up as a bat, which is.
I'm interested in Lady Gaga, like doing the Harley Quinn thing. I'm genuinely interested in that.
Yeah, it's either going to be a fucking really great movie, or it's going to be a laughable disaster. I don't see it being. I doubt it's going to be mixed.
Disaster would have been a great title for this movie. Joker 2 Laughable Disaster.
I can just see a trade using that for a review. You know,
you just created a winner. You know what I mean? You
disaster.
Can't lose with that title.
Well, we meant for it to be bad. What the fuck do you want? Venom 3. Didn't really care about the first two. That's November 8th.
Sony films in 1 year?
A lot.
Oh, damn. Okay, Bespin. What did Venom 2 do? Did Venom
2 did 500 million. It came out 2021. Venom 1 did 800 million
less.
Venom 1 did 800 million though.
Okay.
And Venom 2 did 500?
Yeah, but Venom 2 came out in like 2021 where box office was down in general.
I predict Venom 3
that year.
will do 390, just under 4.
I would say Venom does the same as Venom 2, roughly.
I say 390, just under Venom 4. Quote me on that now. Write that one down.
You're quoted.
We got a whole song.
Don't worry, I've got Jason's numbers from yesterday memorized just because I'm a little weirdo.
He's a little weirdo.
He is.
Okay, Rob. I'm gonna ask you this one, and then obviously Vesper can go. Do you think anybody's gonna give a shit about Gladiator 2? November 22nd, Gladiator 2.
No, but this might be the biggest mistake Ridley Scott's made since he changed the Blacklist script for Nottingham into that stupid Robin Hood movie. that he made.
Oh yeah,
He took an award. He took one of the favorite talk of the town scripts there is and turned it into. I don't know what
it has a better cast than the first Gladiator, in my opinion.
It's irrelevant. Like
it's irrelevant on it coasting on the laurels of the last one, yeah. But as it just being
unless Drew Goddard's going to come and fix the script for him, it's got no chance.
Well, one thing we were talking about. Sorry, I don't mean to like jump around too much, but we were laughing. What was being called 2 yesterday as well?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is called Beetlejuice 2, and Gladiator is called Gladiator 2. Is this like the pendulum swinging back to Venom 3? Or is this just
Venom 3 isn't going to be called Venom 3. It's going to be
it will
have a subtitle. Yeah.
I believe they just haven't announced the titles until marketing's ready to do the marketing push.
That was an assumption I had on Beetlejuice. So it would be like Beetlejuice, back in the habit, like fucking
the writer of Gladiator 2 isn't great. It's
okay.
David Scarpa, who did Napoleon, All the Money in the World, and The Last Castle.
If it has those sex scenes from Napoleon in it, though, it's gonna be great.
Was The Last Castle that movie with the military prison and James Gandolfini? Is that the one I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah, like from 2001 or something.
Did I ever tell you about my story about that?
Mm-mm.
I may have mentioned it once. I'll go real quick. So my time in the military was like Animal House, right? I got injured and it was just a lot of shenanigans. Right? I never fought any wars.
Okay.
No one in chain of command liked me. I just didn't take the military seriously. They hated me. I'm a very, very poor soldier, right? Just letting y'all know. Great with the discipline, poor with the following orders.
Honestly, Rob, we fought with you in Fortnite. We know.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. It translates. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't actually fight like a team. You guys literally fight like Contra. So don't get started. So
we are wild. We are wild. We're wild dogs.
Your idea of the military is Contra. That's how you play. Anyhow, so I get out. Yeah. I get out the military, right? And I go to this radio like premiere thing for The Last Castle. My uncle, the radio guy, right? And we're in there. This is like right after 9/11, right? And so we're in this theater, and they're trying to give away prizes, but they want to give it away to a veteran. Now, my uncle served in the Air Force, like in the 80s, and I'm like, I'm not. And I just got out, and he's like,
stolen valor. Stolen valor.
I'm not doing this, guys. We're at war. I'm not doing this. And they sat there for like 15 minutes. There was not one, because everyone was deployed. There was obviously no veterans in there because they were all deployed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle goes, "We got one right here." I'm like, "Whoa, no!" And so everyone goes, "Get up, get up!" Now, it's a room full of 500 people.
Yeah,
it's a packed house. So I get up, fine, and I walk down there, and the whole theater stands and applauds me, dude.
Rob, on behalf of Bespin, True, and Luke Danger, thank you for your service.
And I guarantee you, my chain of command was vomiting into their CVCs at that moment. Like they could see that fucking. So that, and then that movie was dumb, and no one cared, and everyone left. So I set the tone for the whole film. That's as much a military film as I am a soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's you might have fought in this war as a veteran. The Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim.
That's an animated film.
Yeah. Sounds
it's
fucking,
the horses.
Sounds fucking tedious. I hope they watch this just for 45 minutes.
That's gonna go nowhere.
Now this one, I'm like, I don't know what to expect, and I hope it's cool, but it's the Karate Kid. And that's the one that's going to have all the Karate Kids. It's like the Karate Kid universe.
Not acknowledging Cobra Kai, though.
It does. Daniel-san's in it.
No, they've been very careful about, like...
No, Daniel-san's in it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same production guys, though. Like, this all depends on production.
Yeah, the writers of what you call it have looked over the script. They're like, I think the producers on it.
Oh, okay. But that's not how I heard it. But okay.
Well, it changed. It was originally about a young martial artist teaching an older man how to beat up his bullies. It was Karate Kid in reverse, and then that has since changed.
If they were really gonna make a sequel to Karate Kid, it'd just be called Mighty Morphin Cobra Kai's, right? And they all got a
Okay.
giant robot and they team up and fight.
Tyrant says it's
Godzilla.
pronounced Rohan Solo. Thank you, Tyrant. Now I know how to say it. Rohan.
Who?
Rohan Solo.
Who?
Okay, Sonic 3. I can't tell what the subtitle. The Hedgehog. Okay, just Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
I walked out of the last one, so I can't imagine this will be any different.
I thought the last one was better than the first one, which
No,
isn't
you
saying a
didn't.
lot, but you know.
Yeah.
No, you did.
I tried to watch the first one after everybody said it was good, and I thought it was dog
Listen,
shit.
I'm hyped for the new one though, because Shadow the Hedgehog is a G. You know, like in 2006, man, he blew my mind on PS2. He came on screen with a gat. It was crazy. You know.
Yeah. Tyrant says they initially stated it wasn't going to be tied to Cobra Kai at all. Then they got immediate backlash. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Daniel's
See, I was-
Daniel's
okay,
in
thank-
it.
thank
So
you.
it
Who
might
said
it
that?
might Tyrant. It might only
Oh.
be. I
Damn
love
it.
you, Tyrant. I don't know what
Damn
you've
it.
done to Rob, but I love you. It ends. Yeah, it might just be like, oh, it's just Danielson
Thanks,
after
Tyrant.
Cobra Kai, you know, and then okay. I don't know. This one right here, I feel like it's bad to go against it, but Mufasa, the Lion King,
Mufasa?
fucking
Mufasa, like
fucking Mufasa,
Mufasa played by Dave
Mufasa,
Grohl.
Mufasa,
Mufasa, you know. But I mean,
Mika.
fucking
Dave Grohl, like it's crazy.
who fucking needs it? Is what I say about that one.
Yeah,
Who
the
fucking needs it?
Mufasas. It's a Lion King.
The
tribute band with Dave
Mufasas?
Grohl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lion Long,
What's not on
Okay.
that list as well as Wicked, but that's also in December.
Wicked, part 1.
Part 1.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was tearing apart yesterday. Is I'm like, a musical in 2 parts is where I'm like, does that work? Because like you don't get the big song at the end and shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't get the whole thing where it ties it all through. And I'm like, so that
Would
that's
you have seen the second part to Moulin Rouge back in the day? You probably would. It depends on if it's good.
if
We're
Moulin
gonna have
Rouge
to do research, Jason. We're gonna have to
stopped-
watch half of the musical and then
yeah,
decide.
and then just be like, here we are in the middle. Well, yeah, no, but that's the thing is like if Moulin Rouge just ended in the middle of it, it wouldn't be a satisfying experience, and I probably wouldn't want to watch the second part. That's where and then I don't know, like that movie's either gonna like I think do nothing or do everything. I know that's I just think it's an all or nothing on that movie. I don't know what to expect from because I'm not the audience. It's not made for me. So it's a weird one for me to look at. Like we were talking about it yesterday, and we're like, does the Barbie audience come out for Mean Girls? Does the Barbie audience come out for Wicked?
No.
And
No.
I don't think so.
There's no crossover here. No, the Barbie girl
I say
audience
that's
didn't
what
come
Wicked.
out for the Marvels. So no.
when I saw Barbie one time, and then I was in the theater like 3 times at that point though. And I would say the people I saw going to Barbie, like doing the little Barbie things and dressing in the outfits, they definitely look like the kind of people who would go see Wicked.
You can't make assumptions
No.
on people's appearances.
No. All my gay friends are going to see
I
Wicked.
can't.
I don't know one
Oh,
woman who said
you said gay. I didn't say
all
say
my
that.
gay friends. Yes, they're gay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I was seeing like girls that were coordinating outfits.
These guys are older. I'm just letting you know,
Mhm.
I haven't heard one girl tell me they're going to see Wicked. All of my gay friends are looking forward to Wicked.
Well,
just letting you know.
Wicked hasn't been even really been promoted
Because they go to the
in
musical
a serious way.
They go to the musical. That's what
Yeah,
so.
well, and that's the thing with like musicals is I do think when the film version comes out of a musical, the musical audience I think tends to appreciate it because it's a way to consume it that they couldn't that before. The only way they could consume it at home was just having a soundtrack. And
well, the
so
question
that
is, will they
film-
promote it as a musical? Because right now it seems that Hollywood is afraid of saying something's a musical, and then when you show up at the movie, they start singing, and people are like, "What's going on? Why are they singing?"
Musicals tend to do shitty. Musicals are usually a bad idea.
Yeah, but they're gonna sing in the movie, so I don't
Oh,
understand the
Wicked's a
benefit of not
musical.
letting people know.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wicked is a musical. I mean, through and through. So
So if they don't promote it as a
Apparently, the
musical,
good
that'll be
song
fine.
is in the first part.
okay, so they
The
they
good
get
song is
the
a song called "Defying Gravity," and apparently it's in the first part. It has the budget of 145 million
okay,
for part 1, 165 for part 2.
right. Yeah,
So-
and then Tyrant says, as a Mean Girls fan, I have no hype for the musical. The Walmart Christmas TV spots were the new Mean Girls shit. So
It's because
But
the
there are
Christmas
fans of the
TV spot was
musical
like,
that are looking forward to the musical. That
yeah.
you know,
But
That's what I said to
that's
Jason yesterday. It was
what it
like
needs, right? It needs both, doesn't it? Like to be
it
a
would
big
need
hit.
both to succeed, but like again, you put Mean Girls from a movie into onto Broadway or whatever, and then it attracts a new fan base, and those fans are probably going to go and see it in theaters. But yeah, ideally, but like I'm a I can't even speak, a millennial, right?
Millennial
Mean Girls
Falcon.
was for the girls of my generation, and
you.
every girl I know,
Yes.
like they're looking forward to Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Because like, is it October 3rd? Like that's the whole thing, or I don't know.
Oh, Lacey
Like,
Chabert in this one though.
who?
Lacey Chabert, right?
Oh no, I know Tina Fey's in it. Like,
on just a little side note, Bestman, I had to send this to a Rob today. It's the Ghostbusters. I don't know if I get the Ghostbusters Funko
yeah, I
Pop.
guess, yeah.
And it just says Gruberson. It says
Gary.
No, it says Gruberson.
See?
And I was
Go
like,
Yeah.
Told you because Gary's lame. That's
I was
Well,
hoping
they
that was
sold
gonna
the
make
last
you
lot as,
happy.
like Mr. Gruberson or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
they don't
And
just
then
call him Gary.
the action figure just says Gary though, right? That's what.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so. I think the action figure itself just says
I'm
Gary.
not nuts. Lacey Chabert was one of the stars in Mean Girls. Don't fucking act like I don't know what I'm talking about here.
You just got Mean Girl and you don't even know it. We knew that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you guys didn't even know Lacey Chabert. Don't start with
Stop trying
she
to
was
make
in
Lacey
Lost
happen.
in Space, Jason.
Listen.
Lost in Space.
Oh.
Remember Lost in Space?
The 1999
Van
version?
LeBlanc? Yes. Yes, 1996
Unfortunately, yeah,
version.
I do remember it.
Yeah, that's
It
Lacey
was
Chabert.
it was gonna take down the Phantom Menace, they said.
Well,
No, it didn't. It didn't.
yeah.
I mean, no,
had
a
Fat Boy. Was it Fat Boy Slim or the Orbital
Godzilla.
movie?
I mean, Phantom Menace was talking some shit back then too, but it's still a better movie than Godzilla '99 and excuse me, as well as
It is better than
Lost in
Godzilla.
Space.
99. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lost in Space is better than Godzilla for certain.
But anyways, I think we did it, guys. We've even gone
The
long.
new
old
all right, before just I had to research it. The new one says Gary in big letters, but Gruberson underneath it.
Okay.
On the new figures, it's the same thing with Phoebe, but they do have their full names on it.
Phoebe Bridgers.
But the problem is with they all have Spangler the last name, so they have to use their first names on.
Yo, you seen the arse on this fucking Slimer?
It's been that way since day one. You just now know.
Yeah, no, it's in the new toys as well. You know, he's a thick boy. You know, he's got ash.
Well,
for real.
Did you guys notice he's in the poster?
Oh shit, that means this motherfucker's in the movie.
Oh yeah, he's definitely in the movie.
Yeah, he's in the movie. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
He's packed in like 3 different times on like 3 different toys now, 3 different figures, and he's actually in the post. Let me see if I could get the poster on the screen without. God, dang it! Everything always wants to, make me open up the website. I just want to see the fucking picture, guys. That's all. Anyways, he's on the poster. You can find it. He's right there on the left-hand center of the poster in the background, flying at you. So yeah, he will be in it. They're probably going to open up the containment unit again. That's probably going to be like the Walter Peck's.
I didn't know Slime was in this shit, right?
Yeah.
And this annoys me now because now they're just doing nostalgia bait again. Why do we need Slimer in this? Like they were
all the Ghostbusters are in it, Bespin. It's not just Slimer. They're in New York,
but
it's got all the Ghostbusters.
But they were talking the other day about like, oh, it's a new time to new like era of Ghostbusters and bringing in this new villain, the Death Chill, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, but we're also gonna bring back Slimer. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
Bespin, if that's where your line is,
that's not where my line is. My line is that they want to.
Annie Potts is in it. I mean,
oh no,
Bill Murray's all over the place. I don't know.
But listen, no, I know this shit. Like I was telling to Jason, that people on like set of it, like, hey, Bill Murray's going to be in it. He's on.
Now the question, Bespin, do you? And only Bespin can talk. Jason, you can't talk.
Okay, I am talking.
Bespin, do you think they'll use the Ray Parker Jr. song or the Bobby Brown song in this film? Which one do you think they're likely to use?
Well, from my experience, Rob, I think the Bobby Brown song is the biggest song and has more cultural impact. So
Thank
Trying to
you.
kiss Jason's ass.
Thank you.
No, I'm being sarcastic. It's
It was a
clearly
bigger
not that
single.
song.
It was a
Clearly
bigger
not that
single, and
song,
it
you know?
it is in the math. It's
I don't
on the
even
Bible.
remember it. I don't remember it. I only remember it because you tell me about it. You know?
See, Jason. See, he
Dude,
punked you.
Listen.
got punked.
You guys are just fucking mad because you guys can't keep up. What is the best bar in the whole song? Too Hot to Handle. Ghostbusters Go to Hell. The unmade movie. Too Cold to Hold. Ghostbusters Frozen. It's all connected. You call the Ghostbusters and they're in control. Like it's all connected. It's a
Best,
universe.
this is the same conversation Jason had with Zack Snyder at Comic-Con once. Like,
Yes.
I had to break it up. It was ridiculous. It was going to go on for another 15 minutes.
But no, we've talked about
Like,
it, right?
you
They
see
didn't
that,
try and-
hold on. You saw that kanji on Snyder's arm? Those are actually the lyrics to On Our Own, like in Chinese.
Oh.
Like he just, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
If you didn't know that. On one arm, it's too hot to handle, and on the other arm, it's too cold to hold.
Wait, am I?
Yeah. That's how Zack Snyder rolls.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been duped because I'm not seeing Slimer in the poster now. Maybe
Part
that
of
was
what he said. For some reason.
Yeah.
one of the new ones, but
I saw the poster.
But my hope,
And-
like this thing you've
yeah.
been saying as well, Jason. If they want to like sell
Oh, wait,
Ghostbusters to
I
like a new
found it.
generation,
I
shouldn't you
did
move
find
on from like
Oh yeah.
trying to do the nostalgia plays like all the time? I was looking forward to a movie without like Bill
Well-
Murray and the boys, but I think Bill Murray's in this purely because of the bad reputation he now has.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. And I also think, but like I said, I'm actually okay with Slimer showing up in the movies and eating hot dogs or something to that effect, like he did in Ghostbusters 2. That kind of shit. I don't care if it's like a sight gag. That's move on from it. It's not important. But he is on the right here. See right here. See him
Is
right
that
there.
just not edited in because like
Yeah, maybe it is because
I'm looking at a poster right now. He's not there.
No, this is this is on the Ghostbusters news website.
He's
though.
got a toy with the kid from Stranger Things right on the box, man. He's in the movie.
Yeah.
you know?
He is.
I've said
He is.
he's in- I've
he-
said he's
on-
in-
Well,
the-
I
on
think
the-
he's a
this-
Funko. He's a Funko Pop as well.
No.
So-
When you buy the toy of who's the kid Spangler, the Finn Wolfhard, whatever his fucking name is, the Stranger Things kid.
Mhm.
His
Did you say Ray
fucking
Finn?
toy
Ray
has,
Finn?
yeah, whatever
Yeah.
his fucking name is. Dude, Star Wars has got me all fucked. There's too many Rays in the world.
Yeah.
He comes with the Slimer toy, and the Slimer toy comes with the Ecto 1 for this. So you get the same Slimer toy two different ways, which is going to be really weird. You buy the kid, then you buy the Ecto 1, you got two Slimers.
Yeah,
Same figure, nothing different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all about that pack in, man. Are
I
you
just
there?
thought they were going to
Okay.
try and start to move on from like the nostalgia bait overall.
Well,
No.
my hope is that it like there's always going to be a like a reference. My
Of course,
hope
there's
is
gonna be a reference.
but,
and, like,
yeah, but like see down here. See the other two posters. Can you, are they popping up on screen?
mhm.
Slimer's not
Yeah.
in those ones. He's
No.
not. But he's in the one from Columbia, like the final one, and right there he is. And so but look at all of the. But once again, there's like that new demon looking thing. There's that monster
death chill.
there. Yeah, the death chill. Like, so my hope is that it he might show up in it. He might just be around. I mean, also though, I would say on the flip side of it is if you're gonna do Slimer at all, you should make Slimer a character, because he's not a character in the film universe. In the cartoons one he was. If they want to pull from that and make him like the fucking pet of the fucking people there, if they want to take that and adapt that to film, because that's never happened on screen. Most adults didn't watch the cartoon, or and most kids won't have seen the cartoon. So if they wanted to go and do that, by all means, I say do it. But just like putting him on the poster, putting him in the merchandise, and then he, like I said, he just pops up for 1 second. It's why even do it? But there's a lot of new stuff going
what
on.
they did with the mini like Stay Puft things last time around. That was
And
literally in it just for
Those are
selling
back.
toys.
Those are apparently back too.
They're back.
There's a fun
Yeah, they're in a hamster wheel.
on the they're like there's like a little guy named Pukey
Okay.
who I actually think is pretty adorable. It's a Funko Pop. Let me try to, like, I don't know if that's really showing him well, but yeah. And then there's this mini puff, and he's in a hamster wheel.
But Jason, the guy who directed this has never directed a live action film before, right? So it can't possibly be good.
He wrote the last one with Jason Reitman, I believe.
But he's never directed a live action film before.
Right.
So.
But we can see from the trailer.
And
that
the director of
he knows how to
American
shoot.
Fiction, he never directed a live action film before too. So he can't direct.
Bunsauce wants to know what's up with Murray's rep, and then Tyrant succinctly says an entire movie was shut down because he was being too handsy with an actress he had a scene with. The other actresses came out to share stories. They were basically like, and then there was like stuff with like Gina Davis from the 80s.
Yeah,
saying, like, I turned him down 15 times, and he kept,
It's more than
coming
just
on
it.
to
It was
me.
raw stories from like the past, and there was obviously the stuff he did on the Aziz Ansari movie, and yeah, that's why I genuinely think he went back to, because he was complaining again after he did Afterlife like all the time, and I was
Too
like,
heavy. The backpacks were too heavy.
I just tell the guy to fuck off at this point,
Yeah.
like.
But also, I mean, can't we just fucking make Bill Murray a fucking foam backpack that weighs 1 pound and just move on from it? You know what I mean? Like,
Is he
it that
still
hard?
like dating Khalees,
I don't know.
like the singer?
Yeah, you were the one who told me about that. Actually, I didn't know about
Yeah.
that until you told me.
It's so
So
weird.
if they broke up, you'd be the one to tell me.
Yeah. So it's just a weird like partnership, isn't it?
Yeah.
The woman that's saying my
Yeah.
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and fucking Bill Murray.
I mean, brought Bill Murray to the yard. It worked. It worked. But
Maybe she meant the Yard House.
oh shit. Got a guy I used to work with. His wife worked there, in the corporate, and he was like this guy who tried to be like, he worked at the college, and he tried to implement Yard House things to the college all the time. It made no sense. He was like working with Michael Scott from The Office. Like that was that guy. He was that. It was a very weird guy. Anyways,
So,
though,
I
yeah.
got an update on the Bill Murray dating situation.
Okay, how's he doing? Who's he?
In June, Khalees said, "We are blessed, rich, and happy," and then in August they broke up.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. And good for
This is
her.
what you get for that quote.
Yeah.
We're blessed, rich, and happy. Well, I'm depressed, poor, and fucking sad. What do you want me to do?
Breaking down though the movies for 2024 and like what's actually like on the docket or whatever, I do think that it could actually mean really good things for the Ray movie, which will likely be going into production by the summer. No, the
Why do you think
Ray
why do you think the
Skywalker
2024 releases are good for that?
I think obviously it doesn't come out in 2024, but as it goes into production, I think the coverage on a slow news year will help that movie considerably get
But
noticed.
2025 as a whole is going to be like a massive year.
Massive, yeah.
Massive year, yeah.
So if you're looking at like coverage, then there's going to be a lot of stuff just hyping up 2025.
Yeah.
In that run up.
Do you think the Batman will actually ship that year though, or will get pushed to 2026?
I want it to be then. But
yeah, I want it to be there,
but I doubt it.
James Gunn hasn't had the script yet, so
yeah, I think it's gonna get pushed.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It probably will. It probably will get pushed, but
like 2025 is gonna be an insane year for just like TV, film, and video games. It's not just like for film.
Oh, GTA
like
6.
Well, you got GTA 6. Like even on the TV side, you're bringing back like big hitted like TV shows like The Mandalorian, Wednesday.
You say big titted TV? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney back to Euphoria season 3. So
thank you, Charmaine Obaid Chinoy, for bringing that to us.
Yeah,
sorry,
but no, 2025 is going to be a big year for like TV, film, and movies, like in games. Like it's just, like it doesn't mean you're about coverage. I think that obviously it'll always get coverage through some of the trades, and especially through us because it's us.
Yeah.
And
no, but what I'm saying is in a slow movie for the Star Wars crowd, for the most part, for a slow year in film, for the things that they like, is going to probably make following that production a bit more intense, and then will potentially lead more to the interest being there and people actually seeing it and not just falling off. Might work out in its favor. I mean,
Maybe. I'm hearing that Marvel movie's getting delayed though in 2026.
which one?
The Avengers one.
Do you think it's delayed? You say?
Yeah, I think so. Like every time I talk to people, like it doesn't seem likely.
On track?
You know?
It doesn't
Yeah.
make it-
Like, and
okay.
you like sort of know who I'm on about. Like, so
Mhm.
you know, I don't think so. Like,
Yeah.
so they might be more reliant upon that Star Wars movie. Like Disney might be more reliant upon that Star Wars movie if there's no
Yeah.
Avengers movie that year.
Right.
Yeah, I also don't think that 2025 slate will be that 2025 slate.
Okay.
I think something's getting pushed as well. It might take the Avengers slot in May, so
Right.
I don't know though. Like, I'm not saying that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but-
yeah. Well, so go ahead and soundbite that, write it into a
Yeah.
tweet, and put it on Twitter, and
yeah.
get
Okay,
the
hold on.
validation.
We'll get ready.
Nobody cares unless I say Star
Hey,
Wars.
I got to make money
you know?
somehow around here, Jason. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I made
Yeah.
£1 this week, guys. You know, we're clearly back in the January, ad space.
So lunch is on Bespin.
I don't know what we're eating.
hey, Bestman, you want to go to In-N-Out?
I don't have one.
By the time you get on a plane, fly out here, I'll have gotten through the drive-through.
Yeah, that probably would actually
be ready
correct,
for
yeah.
you.
You'd be
You'd be
ready,
ready
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah, just waiting April for it. Yeah. Yeah.
I ate there last night. It was good.
You
My
doing this
plan
without
is
a
coming to
spite for Rob,
fruition.
Like,
It's working.
Like I said,
we need to
less
time lapse
calories.
Jason's photo every week for the next couple months.
yeah, but
'cause I have a feeling.
he's now doing like multiple bike rides a day though, Rob. So he's
I am.
I'm forcing him to actually somehow get into better shape by eating at In-N-Out despite me. Huh.
yeah. If plans backfires now.
Skywalker says, share a bag of 4-ounce chips, Chris. So they're making a sequel to the Jamie Foxx led Ray Charles biopic. I remember being at
can't
Star Wars
be
Celebration 3. If that's true, that's kind of crazy. At Star Wars Celebration 3, we had a layover from Georgia to get to Indiana. And then I was super drunk, and they made everybody sleep in this like room on the floor in line for George Lucas. And then just in the middle of it, just Georgia, really loud. Started singing Georgia. People did not appreciate
Oh, I thought you
that.
could say Jamie
They
Foxx
were-
was in line
they were-
too, waiting to
No, well, Georgia, and they were just like yelling at us to shut the fuck up. So,
Yeah,
fucking Bestman couldn't take it.
I'm not the biggest fan of that movie. I think Jamie Foxx was better in Collateral. But whatever.
Yeah, Collateral is surprisingly a good movie. For
It's really good.
for a Tom Cruise movie, because they all suck.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
Tom Cruise movies are bad. All the Tom Cruise movies are junk.
Oh, okay.
Jason
know.
singing crashed my stream.
They were
Yeah.
Georgia, and then he crashed.
I googled Jamie
Georgia.
Foxx, and the latest news on him is that Cat Williams believes he's part of the Illuminati. So
Tyrant
In
says-
Marvel or in real life? Like,
in real life,
oh, okay. Not as much.
Hey Tyrant, have you seen the stuff about? He said Tyrant says they are bringing In-N-Out East, not quite where I'm at, but to Nashville, about 3 hours away. And okay, he's making a joke about the Ray movie. Got it. I'm on board. Okay, but look up the Rock pretending to eat In-N-Out 3 times in a row if you haven't seen it for the first time. It's so fucking funny. It was delightful watching that phony fucker pretend to eat In-N-Out 3 different times for the first time. All right. You guys ready to get out of here? Have we done it?
Yeah, hey.
We done
we've
it all?
We
We've
did
done
I
it.
it.
thought we could talk about
So,
Beetlejuice for an hour.
We're good for the
Oh,
year, right?
you
We don't
know-
have to do
you
another
know-
one of these, right?
You know I'm good
Till,
for
like,
it.
next January.
You know, I'll talk about Beetlejuice 3 for another hour if you need to.
3? They've committed to a third one.
Oh, that's what I want to happen.
They should just
Okay.
skip 2 and go right to 3. Yeah.
Oh, Taika. He hired Jenna Ortega for his new movie. So
Taika
there's a
did.
Star Wars Beetlejuice connection.
That could be what gets her into our Star Wars movie. If you think about it, they could
That
work
would be
together.
your dream coming true if you get Jenna Ortega in a Star Wars movie.
Jenna Ortega in a Star Wars movie, I think would be not too bad of an idea. Until at some point she's gonna get, at some point she will be played out, and I could regret it saying it, but at this moment right now, if they got her at this point in her career, I think that would be a good time. Not in 5 years from now or something. You know what I mean? When she's been in Beetlejuice 4, 5, and 6, as well as Wednesday.
It's gonna do that well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna do really well.
Going to star in my Ray Charles biopic.
How much do you think Beetlejuice 2 is gonna make, Rob? Me and Jason had this thing yesterday.
Oh fuck, I'm not good at this.
What did I say?
You know,
what did I say?
horrible.
What did I say?
You said
250.
250, but you said if it's really good, you could make like 300.
Yeah.
You could do Wonka numbers if it's really good. Put it that way. Whatever Wonka is gonna make, that's where I could.
Wonka's looking at
see
600 million.
To
You
be,
could do
Rob,
that.
Rob, to contextualize. So the original Beetlejuice, though, was about a $250 million movie by today's standards with inflation.
Yeah,
adjusted.
but you have a group of
legacy
kids
years
who've grown up with horror movies, and it's a horror comedy. And if they
Mhm.
pull that off, you get, you know what I mean? It's a different thing.
It's a classic film.
220.
Not because of nostalgia. I'm just saying because of the you know, the ghosts and all that stuff. If they get that working,
Well,
and it's
I like Beetlejuice,
genuinely
Rob.
funny.
And
But if it's like the Shadows, hold on. If it's like fucking
Mhm.
that Shadows remake you did, what was that? You remember Dark Shadows?
in the
Then it'll do like-
Dark Shadows.
It'll
Yeah,
do like 150 million, you know, but it has, you know,
yeah.
it's a cool universe, the Beetlejuice universe, you know.
Yeah, well, that's where I don't honestly don't know what to expect from Beetlejuice with that, with all of that. Like when I mentioned Beetlejuice to the kids, my kids, they were like, "Yeah, we're seeing that." But I watched Beetlejuice. I liked
Plus,
the movie.
a lot of kids have been seeing this musical, Jason. I'm just saying, it's, you know,
Well, what musical?
Beetlejuice musical.
Is a Beetlejuice musical? You think the Beetlejuice
Okay,
musical?
yeah, Jason, it's really good too. Like,
No,
go
I don't
look
know
at
anything.
it.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. I honestly
Yeah.
don't. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
There's a, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
I say like 220. Like, and it's lucky to do that.
Yeah.
You can do
it's-
220 domestic and do another 3.
No, I'm saying
I'm
220
telling
all together.
I don't know. Look,
It's coming
I
out.
give
It's
you,
coming out in September,
cynic-
Rob.
the cynical side of me says, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. Like,
It matters. It's not a summer film. It's not
yeah,
gonna have
but
that summer
it's
mojo.
good or bad. There are plenty of films that have released in odd months that have done quite well. So it doesn't, and then they get the choice spot to, you know, sure winners, and they do jack shit. That I'm just saying that kids love ghosts and they love Jenna Ortega, and if the movie's genuinely funny and charming, it could do quite well. If it's fucking more Tim Burton drivel that we've been getting from this dude,
Yeah.
then no. You know,
I think the right answer for that movie was to not call it Beetlejuice 2, not make it Beetlejuice 2, make it a movie in the Beetlejuice universe, and then it to come out that Beetlejuice was actually in it, and then people to freak out about that, and then it to blow up with it. That's what
yeah,
they
like
should
that
make it the
movie Shyamalan did, where
That's
it had
where I was
the
going, yeah,
breakable
Split.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah, when Bruce Willis shows up at the end.
and then just
and
imagine
then go
you-
fuck it up with the Unbreakable sequel.
And I would have also, even though it probably would bruise his ego, say Tim Burton's back. This is Tim Burton doing Tim Burton what he used to do, as opposed to the Tim Burton of the last 20 years. That sucks.
They're also going to heavily market, you know, the Wednesday connection in marketing for this film. Like you know,
Yeah, it's gonna say from the producers of Wednesday, like
yeah,
and stuff. Because obviously Ortega is also a producer of Wednesday. Like,
Hey Rob, does what's her name? Lydia? Does she have to have grown up to become her mom in this narrative? Can you have them both be the same? Can she be the same character she was and do that movie? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I'm super hesitant about that. So not my Lydia will be the Beetlejuice fans things eventually, if they're as fickle as the Star Wars kids. All right, let's get the fuck
I like
out of here.
Tyrant's comment.
Oh, what did Tyrant say?
Beetlejuice 2 is just another animated series. It's just the animated series where all the important plot really is, just like the Clone Wars.
I love the animated series. It's better than the movie.
That's what he's saying. That's what.
Yeah.
You guys agree.
Okay. You read it weird.
You guys are meeting in the middle here. You and Tyrant are on the same page.
No, we're
Best
not.
friends.
No.
Best besties.
No.
I think so.
Yeah.
Before we go, let's let George Lucas. Let's put the clip of George Lucas talking about, you know, the controversy du jour, okay? And then we'll go.
I'm just like that man they call George, the proven kind. I'll break the girl's heart and I'll make them cry. I'm like your dog being geek, a freak without warning, not having appetite for love. Cause me so me.
Me so horny. Me so horny. Me be so horny. We love you long time. It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. It's the end of the show. Come on, let's go. It's the end of the show. Come on, let's go. You know you should go. Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.